Mirroring is the art of noticing the tonality or body language of a prospect and then matching that tone or body language to build trust with that prospect and essentially reclaim authority of the call. Now, the tone and the pace of the call should always be controlled by you. Essentially, exactly how a doctor controls the tone or a pace of the meeting once you go to them. You're there because you're looking for a solution that they most likely have, and they need to ask you the right questions and then really do their extensive research on you so that they can present you with the most viable solution. And in that case, the doctor is usually there and he would control the entire frame of the conversation, how things are going to be navigated and directed towards the end of the checkup. In rare cases, you will get on meetings with prospects that are a total control freak, and they're going to try to take control and authority of the call and then reverse the rules. So they are basically interviewing you and asking you on why you should try to sell yourself to them. I'm going to show you exactly how to handle someone like this because I've encountered these exact type of prospects thousands of times, and there are strategies that you can use to really reclaim authority of the call and completely flip this dynamic again in your favor. Remember this, if you do lose control or frame of the call, you will most likely lose the sale. Now, what does this actually look like in the building rapport stage of the call? That's the start of the stage. So these encounters are usually going to happen either in the beginning, right in the start, where it's the building rapport stage, or at the end, the objection handling stage. And I'm going to show you exactly how to navigate the two. Let's start with one example. So I've been on a million of these calls. What can you offer me? If this is happening in the building rapport stage and you're actually starting to ask questions and gauge where the prospect is at, and they ask you this question. So Kareem, I've been on a million of these calls. What can you offer me? I would literally just get on their level and match that energy. Look, I totally understand that, Alex, you've been on a million of these calls. I mean, just out of curiosity, you said you have been on a million of these calls. Why have you taken a million of these calls? What did you like or not like about those calls that kind of made you want to continue going in that cycle of getting on with multiple different people to see if they do have that solution that you're looking for? Why haven't you made that change yet? I mean, what did you not like in these other calls that caused you to still be in this situation that you're in now and not make a change? Notice what I did there. I did two things. I asked him a question rather than him asking me. I flipped it on him. I regained authority of the call, and I basically just ignored his objection and I proceeded with the conversation. This is exactly how you answer an objection like that. And you proceed. You don't let it halter you from pursuing your pitch or pursuing the rest of the sales call agenda. Let's go over another example. In this example, I'm still in the rapport building phase. I'm asking the questions that I need to know in order to understand what Alex is facing and what Alex's current situation is. And Alex goes like, Kareem, I know you want to ask me questions. I just want to know what the program is and know what the price essentially is. Can you just skip to that part? In that case, I would pull the doctor line on them. I'd be like, hey, full transparency, I don't even know at this stage if we genuinely can help you or if this program is even the best fit for you or not. So just to respect your time, I do need to ask you these questions, and it's super, super important to understand where you're at currently and where you want to be, just so that I can know hey, can we help this guy or not? That's one way of doing it, the doctor line. I like to do it a completely different way. I acknowledge, reply back with a completely random question, and redirect. I'll give you an example. So Alex is like, hey man, I know that you need to ask these questions. I just want to know what the program is about. Can we talk about pricing? Can we just skip to pricing? Sure, no problem. By the way, out of curiosity, Alex, you said you tried this before. What was it specifically about this that didn't work? Alex is gonna reply. Boom, just like that, I continue with my pitch. I completely ignored his question. All I did was match their tonality and body language and redirect. Now let's look at how this would be done at the end of the call. We call this the objection handling stage of the call. So it will be right towards the end, and you might be dealing with a small control freak that presents these types of objections at the end of the call. So let's say you get to the end of the call, the objection handling part of the call, and the prospect says, yeah, I just need to do some more research. Now, how do we mirror that? I would literally just look at them with a slight confused tone. I tilt my head a bit. I'd say, research? With a confused look. It's very important that you don't respond by saying, well, what do you mean by research, and a defensive tonality? That's going to make the prospect turn super defensive towards you. So you want to tilt your head a bit and just mirror their exact words, what they just told you. Research. it's going to cause them to open up and tell you exactly what's holding them back. Once you do that, the prospect will most likely open up and give you the real objection that's holding them back from making that purchase. And you handle that objection accordingly until there are no objections left. So if you do it right, research? Alex is going to be like, yeah, I do need to go back and do a better research. It is a bit expensive for us, so I do need to crunch some numbers and do some research and then get back to you. There is your real objection. Notice that? He mentioned the word expensive. So it's actually a price objection, not a research objection. That's just a fugazi. It's fairy dust. It doesn't exist. Then you can go into price handling, either offering a payment plan, whatever your payment options are. How can we make this work for you, Alex? Blah, 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 and trying to close them on something that does work for them. When you do this right, prospects will always open up and give you the true objection that is genuinely holding them back from making that decision to move forward. Now, for the beginners out there, I know these strategies are a bit, overwhelming for you, but I promise you we will be tying all of these together in the later modules once we go into the actual sales script framework, the sales script build out, and you will be really bringing in all of these strategies together and it'll make sense for you. Absolutely. I'll see you in the next one.